Carnival Cruise Line has a reputation for being the party line and for being trashy.
I just want to go to a party, Mom.
I wanted to find out for myself exactly what people mean by this. Well, I just got off my first Carnival cruise, and I'm going to tell you what I found to be trashy and what I found to be classy aboard the Carnival Conquest. But you always need to remember that one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, I know why you're all here. You want to know what kind of crazy and trashy things happened on a Carnival cruise. And I definitely have a few, but make sure you hang around to the end of this video, because the end I won't hold back, and I will tell you what I really think about cruising on Carnival and if I ever will again. Do you like taking cruises? Do you like hearing all about the crazy things that happen on cruise ships? If yes, I'm inviting you to hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on all the latest in cruising. I don't smoke weed. I used to smoke weed, but I don't smoke it anymore, and I really don't want to smell it all the time. On my Carnival cruise, I smelled weed everywhere. I smelled it in my room, in main dining, I smelled it by the pool, I smelled it in the hallway. I watched a guy come out of an elevator blowing out a big cloud of pot smoke as he walked out. I was amazed at how much weed was being smoked on that ship. The crazy part about this is supposedly Carnival has recently been cracking down on this. This was my first cruise where I had to stop and have a drug dog smell my carry-on bag before I was able to go through security and board the ship. I'm not sure how all this weed is getting on board, but there must be a well-known secret amongst the pot smokers how to get it on, because it was everywhere. As an ex-weed smoker, I understand why and how important it is to all the potheads to have their weed on the cruise.
It's medicinal.
But what I didn't like was that no one was discreet about it. It was right out in the open. Consistently smelling weed on my cruise definitely is something I consider a trashy environment. You know, I remember a time when it was a rare treat to catch a glimpse of a beautiful girl, brave and confident enough to be on the beach in a thong bikini. Nowadays, it seems regardless of your age or your level of fitness, it's almost expected that you are wearing next to nothing when you're by the pool or on the beach. This is definitely the case on the Carnival Lido deck, and in all fairness, this is the case on most cruise line Lido decks. But on Carnival, it was taken to a whole new level in a couple of different ways. Number 1, wearing your thong two-piece bikini to the buffet. I saw a couple of ladies basically dressed in a couple of strings around their body, walking through the buffet with a plate of hot food without a care in the world. I'm not here necessarily to pass judgment, but trashy is a word that comes to mind when you see this kind of thing happening. The second way the skimpy and cheeky bathing suits were taken to a whole nother level was the poolside twerking. This is another activity Carnival has said to be cracking down on, wildly shaking your booty in a thong bikini in the public area around the pool while having your friend and family slap your butt and sometimes do even more sexually explicit things is for sure in the arena of trashy cruise behavior. You know, I absolutely love jazz and blues music. Jazz fusion in particular. While it's hard for me to believe, not everyone else in the world likes the music that I listen to. This is why, in an effort to be classy, I choose not to carry around a Bluetooth speaker and blast my music everywhere I go. Unfortunately, some of the people you will meet on a Carnival cruise most likely will either assume that everybody shares the same passion for the hardcore hip-hop they listen to, or they just don't care that they may be interfering with the experience of everyone around them. On a Carnival cruise, you can expect to hear other people's music being played at loud volumes, in the cabin next to you, and at places around the ship. This is another reason you might hear that Carnival cruises are a little bit trashy. I was lucky enough to be raised in a home that didn't use swear words around the house. And I was taught from a young age not to swear in public settings, especially when there's going to be kids around. It's not that I never swear, I just save that for when I'm with my close friends in the most casual of settings. On a Carnival cruise, you're going to hear some swearing. You're going to hear some aggressive language and possibly some sexually explicit language in the public areas of the ship. Once again, I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm just saying that this is what a lot of people would consider to be trashy behavior. One of my biggest pet peeves is line butting. And get this, in my experience, you will not find this on a Carnival cruise. In the buffet, waiting to get on and off the ship, and all the other lines you need that get to the places that you want to be, were amazingly civil. People of all ages, cultures, shapes, sizes, and even people that were loud, drunk, and yelling obscenities did not break the code of waiting your turn in line, at least on my Carnival cruise. This, ladies and gentlemen, takes a point away from trashy and puts it right into classy. Do you have a hot wife or a sexy husband? I hope so, and I hope you have a great sex life. I'm just not interested in seeing it firsthand. On a Carnival cruise, especially near and in the adult-only pool area, there's a good chance you are not only going to see some public displays of affection like hugging and kissing, but you will possibly see groping so extreme it's getting close to outright sex. This is just another example of that trashy behavior. Well, there you have it. After all that, I bet you think I must hate Carnival cruises. With all that trashy behavior, why would I ever cruise with them again? It is true that my cruise was negatively affected by some of the behavior I mentioned. I didn't like smelling weed all the time, or having to listen to other people's music while relaxing in my cabin, or feeling a little violated after being near the adult-only pool. But I will also say that on this cruise, I felt more comfortable to be myself than any cruise I have ever been on. I never felt like I had to dress a certain way, or act a certain way, or have to follow all the norms of upscale fancy living. I could just be comfortable and casual and have no one bat an eye. With a couple of small exceptions, I felt no judgment from any crew or fellow passengers. In fact, the friendliness of the people on board was commendable. The Carnival ship itself was gorgeous. It was what I want a cruise ship to be, bigger than life. The food was some of the best I have had at sea, and it wasn't pretentious food. So, as with any cruise line, there'll be trade-offs when it comes to your ideal experience. But something that I learned from my Carnival cruise is that I don't fit perfectly into the trashy category or the classy category. I'm somewhere in between. Will I cruise on Carnival again? The answer is an astounding yes. In fact, I already have my next Carnival cruise booked. So hey, whether you like to get a little trashy or you like to keep it classy, book that next cruise, because no matter what cruise line you choose, adventure awaits.